Okay, so now what I want to do is go back to the first crucial component of all this and go a little deeper on step one, which is figuring out exactly what is the main pressing problem of your target audience. Okay, so this part of it isn't rocket science. People have needs and desires and problems that they want a solution for, whether that's dating advice, weight loss tips, they want to learn a foreign language, they want to quit smoking, they need healthy cooking recipes, they need technical help. Whatever it is that your target audience wants to know, wants to learn, wants their problem solved, they're going to be willing to pay for solutions to these problems. So I want you to start thinking about who is your audience exactly, specifically, and then what are their problems that they're having. And what I'd like you to do now is refer to the worksheet, the PDF download that's below this video if you haven't already clicked on it and saved it or opened it up, because we're going to refer back to that in a second. But what you need to start doing first, and I'm assuming you've done some of this work already on the front end, and you have a good idea of who your audience is already, and if not, this worksheet will help with that. What you need to look at first is who is your audience. You know, are they male, female, are they work-at-home moms, retirees, realtors, dentists, personal trainers, online entrepreneurs? Start getting clear on exactly who they are if you're not already, and then you need to look at what are the problems that they're having in life or in their business. What feelings are they having associated with those problems and issues that they have that you can help resolve or alleviate. These are the types of things that you need to get in touch with, so that way you can provide a solution to these problems in the next step. So to look at this a little more, I gave you an example on the second page of this document using one of my first sites, my travel site called Newport Discovery Guide, and using that as an example. You know, I had to look at who exactly is my audience first of all, and what I determined was that they were people who were interested in visiting, moving to, or researching my hometown of Newport, Rhode Island. So I was very clear on that's who my audience was. And then the next piece is what problems did they have. So again, it'll be different for your niche and your topic, but for my specific example on the travel site, those people, they didn't know where to stay when they were coming to Newport, they didn't know where to eat, what beaches to go to, what the most popular attractions were, where to park their car, rent bicycles, all these different things that tourists or people that are new to any particular city need to know, and they struggle with obtaining that information. That's what I recognized was the problem of my audience for that particular topic. So these are the exercises you need to do if you haven't done them already, and get really clear on who exactly is your audience first of all, and then what problems do they have. So you'll need to do a lot of brainstorming on this to get really clear. And again, take the time, because it's worth it on the front end, to get crystal clear on who this is and then what their problems are, because then that'll help you to create the proper solution, package it, and market it to them down the road. So that's the first thing I want you to do. Download this document, print it out is probably the best way to do it, so that way you can actually have it in your hand and do some writing with it and actually brainstorm out these things and get clear on what the answers to these questions are for you and your audience. So whether your audience is moms, work-at-home moms, maybe it's retirees, you know, what are some of the problems that they have? You know, for example, a work-at-home mom or a stay-at-home mom, you know, with young children, some of the difficulties or frustration that she may have is tips on how to do all these different parenting types of things, or, you know, how to raise the kids when you're staying at home with them as opposed to having daycare or having them be in school or having them with babysitters all the time. You know, what activities can you do with your kids throughout the day? What are some recipes for different meals that you may want to cook for these kids? What are some adventures that you could take them on? You know, the list is endless, and it depends on you and your audience, but you need to do this type of research to figure out what are the main problems that your audience has, and then which ones do you have the knowledge or experience with or the desire to learn more about, so that way in the next step you can package a solution that solves that problem for them. If your audience is retirees, for example, a lot of baby boomers coming into retirement, and one friend of mine, actually her business is coaching and providing products and services and activities for people as they're transitioning out of their careers and into retirement. So, an example of some of the problems that her audience may have is just that adjustment process, and instead of maybe being stressed out and not having any time, which a stay-at-home mom might feel like when she's running around with little kids all day and doing all these chores and cleaning up after them, some of the issues that a retiree may face would be that they have too much time on their hands now that they're no longer working and they don't have a career. Maybe whether they're home alone or they're home with the spouse or some other family members, regardless, if they're not working any longer, that frees up a significant chunk of their time. And maybe one of the issues these people have is they're not really clear on how they want to fill that time. Maybe they're bored, maybe they have too much time on their hands, they need to do something that gives a little more meaning to their life, or they want to have a little more fun and do some of the things that they never had a chance to do while they were out in the workforce, and they need help figuring out what those things are, what some of those activities could be. So that's some of the things that my friend does that she helps those people with. So whatever your audience is, again, whether it's dating or weight loss or helping people quit smoking, whatever it is, you just need to really go down deep, do the brainstorming, write it down, and figure out what are the problems that your audience has, what are the feelings that are associated with those problems, what do they need relief from, what are they stressed out about, and how could you come in with your solution, your product, your service, your advice, your how-to tips, your in-depth training, however you're going to set it up, which we'll look at shortly. How can you best do that for your audience? So these are the types of things you need to look at in step one, which is the problem. So again, go ahead and download the worksheet, do these exercises, get really clear on exactly who your audience is and what their problems are, because until you're really clear on that, there's no way that whatever you put out there for a product and service is going to be really effective and received well in the marketplace and do as well as you want it to do. So put the thought into it on the front end, and what we'll do in the remainder of this series is we'll look at then how to package the solution for your audience's main problem or problems, and then down the road how to automate that so you can actually leverage more of your time if that's what you want to do, and hopefully it is, most likely it is, and that's why you're in this training.